Hi, everybody. I'm Eliza Broadbent, and this is my co-host, Travis Bruce. We're here on the Paranormal Xperience, the podcast that asks horror authors to tell us their true stories of the uncanny and the unknown. Today, our guest is author Ray Wilde. Ray is an author of queer and transgressive horror writing. She's the author of The Stradivarius, and most recently, I Refuse to Apologize for My Position on Men. That's right? Or
yes.
I don't apologize for my position on men?
I do not apologize for my position on men.
I always get that title wrong because I can't remember if it's I refuse to apologize or I do not apologize.
Same sentiment. And now Travis is like, oh no, what have we done?
What did I get myself into?
Travis is like, what have I done? What have I done?
I'm all about bashing men.
Fantastic author.
Yes. I'm sorry. Go,
so, we have no idea. I would like to remind our viewers what Ray is about to tell us. We don't know her story. Travis doesn't know her story. So we're excited to hear today what Ray is about to tell us, what her paranormal experiences are. So Ray, take it away.
So, thank you so much for having me on. I'm not sure like the sensitivity on some of what I'm going to talk about. So please have some grace for me in this. But to give a little bit of context, the house that I grew up in it backs up to a preserve. And it is a preserve because they have in the past found remains of indigenous people there.
Oh God. And
it was the site of a battle. Back in the old time, not recently, So when I was growing up, the woods during the day, very comfortable coming in and out of the woods, there's well-worn paths back there. But at night, it feels very different. And it does not feel like a place that you want to be. And growing up, I would have sleepovers and stuff with girlfriends, and multiple times we would be sitting in my room and one of them would do one of these towards a window, and they would be like, who is outside your house? And I'd be like, what do they look like? Because this would happen over and over again. And they were like, there was someone just in white. I just saw them for a second, always wearing white, weird. And I never really saw them, but this happened again and again, at various sleepovers. And, woods are looming in the backyard. And I had a few things in my room, my door would close all the time, and we're in Florida. We don't keep the windows open. It's hot. There's no draft coming through the house. But it would forcefully close all the time. But, I get older. I don't think a whole lot of it. And, when I was, early 20s and I started talking about buying a house, my dad, who is great, very close to my dad, but he said to me, serious as a heart attack, he goes, you couldn't afford a house if I gave you one. Fast forward to, 5-6 years later, I bought the house down the street from him. Okay. So I live in their neighborhood now, which means that I live on the same woods, the same nature preserve. And I actually have a larger plot of the land than even the house that I grew up in. So when I bought the house, I bought it from its original owners. It was built in 1988. And so it had only had this one couple living in it. And I don't know for sure what happened to the wife, but she was deceased when we bought the house. I bought the house just from the husband. And when we came to look at it, everything was cleared out except for a piano. And when we went in the master bedroom, a gun that was in the closet. There was a shotgun. And it just had this feeling in the house that it felt you were hyper vigilant in the house. But I was obsessed with the idea of living in the same neighborhood as my parents. So I was like, I will do anything to own this house. So, you know, I buy the house and we come back, you know, scoping it out. We're going to clean stuff up, whatever. And then I realized there's like some other weird things with the house, including, so the house is 3 bedrooms, and one of the bedrooms, the door, like the door that you walk into, it's a regular interior door, had a peephole, like a front door peephole. And the peephole was for someone inside to look out into the hallway. Oh. I can't imagine, right? There were no children living in this house. Like, even if there was, I don't know why. Like, you would have to go out of your way to, like, install this thing.
What the fuck?
Now, did you leave it there?
It's still there. It's covered. I covered it with like a hanging thing because it's my son's room now. So I hung like this pirate thing over it. But yeah, it's still there because it's like in the door. I would have to buy a new door to get rid of it. So
literally the only explanation I can imagine for that, because I can imagine one, is like if you live through the Depression and you're like repurposing an exterior door.
It's not an exterior door. It's an interior door. Like it would rot.
I'm wrong
like
then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. It's odd. And the other thing that I noticed after moving in was that the bathroom, so it had a pocket door, like in the middle of the bathroom to separate like the toilet shower area from another vanity. And they had nailed it sealed. It's still nailed sealed this way. So like they got a piece of wood, nailed it over so that the door cannot open. Like it's behind wood. And I was like, okay. And then I noticed that they had an alarm system, but the sensors are set up in such a way that if whoever was in that room with the peephole came out, it would trigger the alarm.
Now, the only thing I can think of in my head, but what year was the house built? Do you know?
88.
Okay, so that does make sense. I was going to say back when there was like diseases or something was contagious, maybe that was a way to separate them, but not in 1988.
No, and I think that someone was living in there from the photos on the real estate listing site. It was set up as an adult bedroom. So I think perhaps the wife, if I had to guess, was living in there and perhaps not freely able to leave. Like it is all that I can really, because I'm not sure why else you set up like alarm systems in a way that trigger on an interior bedroom, just walking into the hallway, right? And take steps to keep you from closing yourself in the bathroom and put a peephole on an interior door.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because that sounds like something fishy, yeah.
It's odd. It's certainly odd. So after finding all of this stuff, I already felt like a little like something a little off in here. So, and this is another like, please forgive me. I didn't realize at the time, I know now that like sage is a closed practice. We shouldn't just be burning sage. I didn't know that at the time. And I saged the house. And nothing has been moved into the house. There are no objects in this house, right? Like not a one, not a box, not a nothing. It is floors and walls. That is it. And so I'm like walking through the house and I hear what sounds like if you were holding like a cardboard box full of books and dropped it on a tile floor. Like it was that loud, this sound. And I like freak out. I ran outside is how much it scared me. And then I come back and I'm looking around. There's nothing. Because again, there's nothing in the house. So nothing has fallen. No doors have been opened or closed. This is an empty house. But I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, it was so loud, as if you were carrying something that weighed 15, 20 pounds and dropped it from 5 feet onto a tile floor.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
now, did you try doing any history of this house, or like look to see if anything suspicious happened?
I mean, not that I know of. Like, as far as I know, the former owner, who is still alive, the man has moved to an island and is living there and is
Bet he did.
fine and nice, you know? So I don't know that anything happened. And I never asked the realtor if anyone died in the house, but like, if I had to put my money somewhere, I would say that somebody died in the house. And I'm not like a super woo-woo person. Like, I'm not fully convinced that ghosts are real. I'm also not convinced that they're not. I'm kind of just like, I don't know. But like, I'm just saying vibes were real weird. And then living in the house, I remember one time I was showering and nobody else was home when I got in the shower. But as I'm in the shower, I very clearly hear my wife come in through the garage door and say like, hey, babe, I'm home. And so I shut off the shower, wrap myself in the towel and come out. And I start saying like, oh, like you're home early. I didn't expect you. No one's there. No one's fully in the house whatsoever. And I texted her and I was like, hey, so like, were you home just now? And she was like, absolutely not. I'm working. Like, and that happened a few times where it would be clear as day, like not muffled, not an ambiguous sound, like very much like not even unsettling, because it was so clear that like, this was just this person that I expect to be here speaking to me. So why would it be, until I would go into the room and find that no one was home.
See, that's freaky. I mean,
that's freaky as hell.
Yeah.
That's like doppelganger crap.
yes.
It's really weird.
I would be out the fucking door, to be honest. I would like, yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, I try really hard not to think about it. Because the more I think about it, it like freaks me out. So I try to just be like, hey, like, if anybody's here, like, I'm cool, you're cool. Like, I'm just going to go about my life. And, you know, I've been here like 5 years now and, you know, nothing's hurt me or anything. So, you know, it's probably fine. But there's definitely some energy or something. Something's going on a little bit every once in a while.
That's quite a house you have.
That is quite a house. But it sounds like you have some nice spirits, which are, you know, which is great compared to some of the stories we've heard, you know.
Yeah, we've heard some wild stories.
Yeah. So
I bet. Yeah.
It's definitely changed from the dead pets.
Oh, yes. We haven't heard nothing about dead pets either. Yes.
Yeah, we get a lot of dead pet stories. We get a lot of people being like, my dog came back, which is nice in a way.
In a way,
it's very sweet. It's very sweet, but it's nice to not hear that your dog came back.
No,
you know?
I haven't had any pets come back, which I think I'm glad. Like, I'm good. I'm not. I want to just let the house know, like, we're good. We don't need more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to send any impressions that, you know, we're inviting more of this. But yeah, no pets. Just the occasional voice, really, lately. So that sort of thing. Or like I'll hear doors open and close, kind of like I did in my parents' house. But I would actually see the doors closing in my parents' house. That hasn't happened here. Here I've just heard them opening and closing. But yeah, I don't go in the woods at night. And I figure if I like mind my business, if there is something else, like they'll mind their business too.
And that's usually how it works.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ray, as a horror writer, do you think that listen, I do dark stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a mortician. I do horror stuff, and I have a lot of things that follow me, Do you think by doing horror writing, it opens the doors to other dimensions or spirits reaching out to you?
I mean, I don't think so for me personally. Like, if anything, I feel like the creative practice of writing anything, but especially like exploring kind of the darker parts of my imagination is sort of an outlet for that. So if anything, I feel like kind of unburdened by that rather than that is like drawing more towards me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I choose not to write about things that actually scare me. So for example, like home invasions really scare me. Like, you will not catch me writing a home invasion. The idea of like demonic possession really scares me. You will not catch me writing like a demon possession story. But the things that I'm writing about tend to be more around like the darkness that's inside of me, and I believe like inside a lot of us, but just kind of blown up to a proportion that's entertaining for other people to read. But yeah, so my answer is like no, but with the asterisk that I think if I chose to like really get in the weeds with something that actually really freaks me out and keeps me up at night, then like I think that'd be a different story.
Well, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate having you. This has been a great conversation, and your house scares the shit out of me.
It scares the shit out of me. Now, Ray, where can everyone find you and your work?
Yeah, so I have a book coming out June 3rd called I Can Fix Her. It's available for pre-order everywhere. It is a second chance with the one who got away gone very wrong. It's sapphic horror. Very excited about that. You can find me mainly on TikTok and Instagram at _Ray_Wilde, Wilde with an E. And you can watch me be like kind of provocative on the internet, talking about orca whales and other things that make people mad at me and my books. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we will be sure to catch you making people mad on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
Please do. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Yes, everyone, thank you for coming to this edition of the Paranormal Experience. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Elizabeth Broadbent. And that's Ray Wilde. We'll see you next time. Take care.